The very first thing that you need to be aware of is that you need to be solving a problem that people are not ashamed to admit. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Persuasion Show with your host Bushra Azhar. And this is where I teach you how to hack your way to rebuttal-proof arguments and back-button-proof websites. This is also the show where I get to sit here in PJs that have holes in them and t-shirts that have curry stains in them and pretend that I actually know my shit. So yeah, there is a reason you can't see me. Now, in today's episode, we are talking about recurring revenue Rolodex, the science, art, and madness of a membership program that lets people pay you on auto every month. Now, unlike most things on the internet and most things that actually come out of my mouth, this thing, I actually know what I'm talking about because I have a beautiful membership site called the Persuasion Hacks Lab, and it does indeed allow people to pay me on auto every month. But the reason it is doing so well for me is because I have put in a lot of thought into it, unlike most things I do in my life. And I want to share the science and the art and the madness that goes into creating a recurring revenue membership site or a recurring revenue model that actually does the same thing for you. Now, first of all, the very first question is not how to create a monthly membership site. That is the wrong question to ask. I'm sorry, Pete, you just flunked your exam. There's the door. You can never be anything in your life. Actually, no, I'm kidding. You can be whatever you want in your life, unless you want to be a six-legged unicorn, which I'm pretty sure is kind of hard to do. But, you can give it a shot, totally. If you believe in it, maybe you can even be a six-legged unicorn. But the first question is when to create a monthly membership site. Not every business model can actually be suitable for a monthly membership site. And I know everyone is telling you that you should create a membership site because they probably have a program that teaches you how to do that. And that is exactly why they're telling you this. But the reality is that you need to first make the decision based on what you are selling, whether it actually makes sense to create a monthly membership site. Now, the very first thing that you need to be aware of is that you need to be solving a problem that people are not ashamed to admit. Why? Because if you are trying to create a membership site, whether it's a product-based membership site or an information service-based membership site, and it's a problem where people are ashamed to admit to themselves that they have this problem, then not only is it hard for them to invest in it the first time, it is also hard for them every single time, every single month when the payment hits them. It reminds them of how inadequate they are and how ashamed they are of that problem. So please make sure that you know that you're not creating a membership site around a problem where people are ashamed to admit it, unless there is always a caveat, unless you are offering a solution to that shame. Unless you're offering them some sort of a community support or some sort of bringing all those people who are ashamed to have that problem together in a way that resolves that shame. Unless you're solving a problem, unless your membership site solves that shame problem, don't create a membership site for a problem that people are ashamed to admit. It could be any kind of addiction. It could be anything where people are just ashamed to admit it. Number two, it has to be a continuous solution to a continuous problem. And my best favorite example in this case is solving the issue of acne, right? So if your product or your service or your training, whatever, your membership program actually promises to resolve acne forever, then it's not a continuous solution to a continuous problem, because once you've gotten rid of acne, fingers crossed, you're never getting it back. So it makes sense to, if people are going to pay you on a monthly basis, if you're going to go through the pain of a recurring payment, which, by the way, in case no one told you, recurring payments are painful. And it takes people, it needs a lot of convincing to get people to put something on an auto charge on their credit card versus a one-shot payment. So unless it is a continuous solution to an ongoing continuous problem, like for example, in this case, it could totally be wrinkles or anti-aging. It is not something that ends with one solution. It is an ongoing solution to an ongoing problem, right? So unless it is something that's a continuous solution to a continuous problem, do not create a recurring monthly membership program around it, because it's not going to work. Number 3, if you can add the element of ease and speed to your membership site, then that is going to be the bingo. So whatever you're doing, maybe you are a stylist and you can actually teach them how to put together really cool professional outfits in like probably, 10 minutes. I'm the farthest thing from style that you would ever come across. So I have no idea how that works. But if you can offer them some sort of an ease and speed that is really easy to sell on a recurring revenue basis. It also needs to lead into bigger offers. If your membership program is your only offer, then you are kind of setting yourself up for a potential failure in the long run, because again, it's hard to keep people to stay, allow them to stay on in a continuity program where they're every month paying something. Now, I am really blessed that there are people in Persuasion Hacks Lab that joined when I opened it in March 2014, and it's almost 2 years and they're still with me, but that is very rare. There are people who come and go. So make sure that when they're in your membership site, it serves as a way to create hunger for your bigger offers, and it leads them into your bigger offer. Also, make sure it does not cannibalize your bigger offer. So whatever you're selling, just make sure that when they can, because inherently membership sites, recurring sites, continuity programs are inherently low priced. Now, if it has elements that will satisfy people enough that they would never buy your bigger offer, then that's a problem. So make sure that whatever is in your continuity program or in your ongoing membership program, it does not cannibalize your bigger offer. It should only create a hunger for your bigger offer, not basically kill the need for your bigger offer. Also, make sure it's not your first offer. It is very hard to create your first offer as a membership program. There are people who have done this. There are people in my own launch program, in Sold Out Launch, who have done it with a lot of success. So it's not that it's impossible to get that off, but it's relatively hard. If you don't have a track record of proven products, it's relatively hard to get people to pay you on auto every month if you have never done anything like this before, if you literally do not have any track record. So at least have some sort of maybe a one-on-one work, some sort of bulk orders, some sort of a track record before you create your recurring revenue or monthly membership program. So the next question, again, is not how to create a membership program. Again, you fail one more time. You are a loser or a six-legged unicorn, depending on what you believe in and what you focus your energies on, right? But the next question is, what are the watch-outs for monthly membership site? Because there are certain watch-outs that you need to be aware of. Everyone is jumping on the bandwagon, but you need to know that there are certain things that you need to be really, really, really careful about before you also jump onto the bandwagon. And first thing is, it's not easy. It is not easy to sell. It is not easy to maintain. Because it is a low ticket item, you probably will be attracting a lot of people who are used to kind of paying little money but expecting a lot in return, which means higher customer service costs. You will also understand that it's not as easy as selling a one-shot payment product, because they're putting their card on auto debit, which is a kind of a scary situation. Also, the retention is going to be an issue that you need to focus on. So you need to have some sort of strategies in place, some sort of process, engagement mechanism, reward mechanism in place that makes sure that you will be able to return those people. Because otherwise what would happen is that those people will join, and on average, the industry average is that they will stay on with you for about 3-4 months, and then they start trailing off, they start canceling their subscription. So you need to be sure that when you create your membership program, not only do you worry about acquiring new customers, you also have to worry about retaining the existing customers so you don't constantly bleed out your customers. Oh, that sounds really, really morbid. I don't mean bleed out. I don't mean like kill or slaughter your existing customers. I just mean you don't bleed out the clients. Actually, it's the same thing. Yeah, but that's not what I meant. I promise I'm not a serial killer, even though I act like one sometimes. Number 3, watch out. The abuse. That is a fact of life. If you are going to have a recurring revenue system, if you are going to have a monthly membership program, if you are going to give people access to your content for a low price, people are going to abuse it. I've had situations where people have gotten into Persuasion Hacks Lab. It used to be $19. Someone actually got into Persuasion Hacks Lab for $19 for the first month. It was $19. It used to be $19.95. He got into the membership program. He got access to all trainings, downloaded everything, and then went ahead and canceled. But that's not what I'm griping about. I'm not griping about the fact that he canceled. I'm griping about the fact that then he went ahead and he filed a complaint and claimed a refund for even those $19. So he stole everything from me and he still didn't want to pay me those rightfully earned $19. So there are some shit muffins out there. There are some people who are going to abuse it. So keep that in mind. That is definitely going to happen. So just preparing you, it's not an issue of if it will happen, it's an issue of when it will happen. And if that bothers you too much, just kind of grow up here because it's going to happen. The next up is the structure. Right? How do you structure it? How do you structure it so people actually consume it? The problem with most membership sites is not that they don't have enough content. The problem with most membership sites is that it has too much content and people don't consume it at all. And that, my darlings, is going to be the death of your membership site because it creates this overwhelm. So make sure that there is a structure in place that allows people to consume it in a way that is useful for them and useful for you because they stay on and they pay you money, and obviously we all want money. Now, here I'm going to take a moment and talk about the way I have structured the Persuasion Hacks Lab. When I started it, it was just a jumble of a lot of trainings. But now the way I've structured it is when you go into Persuasion Hacks Lab, you can basically dive into Persuasion Hacks Lab based on 3 different criteria. You can dive into Persuasion Hacks Lab based on the level that your business is at right now, whether you're a newbie or an intermediate or an advanced level person. So that's one way to dive into PH Lab. Then another way to dive into PH Lab is based on how much time you want to spend and how much complexity you want to tackle. So do you want to spend 15-30 minutes on optimizing something, or do you want to spend 60+ minutes? You can dive into Persuasion Hacks Lab, and all the hacks and trainings are categorized based on the level of complexity and the time involved. Or you can even dive into PH Lab based on your business objective. What exactly do you want to achieve? Do you want to grow your list? Do you want to convert more subscribers into buyers? Do you want to grow your authority? Do you want to scale your business? Do you want to get into paid advertising? Whatever your business objective is, you can also see the trainings categorized based on the business objective. So there are many different ways you can dive into PH Lab, and that structure has really allowed people to maximize their usage of the PH Lab. And the more they use it, the better it is for them because they get a great return on investment on their monthly membership, and therefore they stay on, which is great for me because I get the monthly payments, which I really like, I promise. Number 5, the degree of involvement. So one watch out is you need to understand how much do you want to be involved. Considering it is a low ticket price item, you have to be really careful about how much time you spend. Now, I was talking to Jill Stenton, and she said that the only reason people are in her membership program is because they get access to her. So therefore, she knows that the biggest value of her membership program, apart from the fact that I'm pretty sure it's very, very, very kick-ass because she is really kick-ass, also the fact that they get access to her. And that is a choice that she's made. She's granted access to her as part of the membership program. But again, something you need to decide on your own. And lastly, need to understand that there are multiple pain points. If they get hit with that payment every single month, it is going to cause distress. And you need to figure out a way to counter that distress. You need to offer them something on a monthly basis that gives more, that kind of balances off the costs and benefits, right? We do the cost benefit analysis. Yes, I'm an accountant. I'm speaking like an accountant, but you need to kind of overweigh the benefits against the cost of that monthly membership program because there are multiple pain points. It's not a one and done deal. And you need to remind them every month why they're there and why it's an absolutely great decision and they should continue being a member. Now, let's talk about creating your recurring revenue Rolodex. So we've finally come to the section where we are talking about how to actually create the recurring revenue Rolodex. So yes, now my 6-legged unicorn, now we are getting into the creation. So here are a few ideas on the best things to include in a monthly membership program or a recurring revenue Rolodex. Specific how-tos. So not just a generic strategy training, but very, very specific how to look perfectly put together if you have only slept 4 hours and you only have 15 minutes to get ready in the morning. So very, very specific how to. Also tools and templates. Tools and templates are, because they are easy to kind of use, and people like tools because tools come with that inherent promise that it's going to make their lives more efficient, right? So tools and templates definitely are beautiful ways, beautiful things to include in membership sites. Also, any sorts of time savers, anything that saves them time, whether it's in Persuasion Hacks Lab, there are word-for-word scripts, and those word-for-word scripts are huge time savers. They don't have to sit and decide, oh, what do I write in an email to get someone to, actually choose me for a podcast interview? Oh, how do I pitch a news story to media? It's all, the scripts are written and it saves time. Also, if you have some sort of convenience shot, something that makes it convenient for them to do it. So a lot of people have told me about Persuasion Hacks Lab that we use it kind of like a cleaner, more intelligent Google. So instead of Googling something, they basically come to the PH Lab and they would say, okay, how to craft my webinar pitch, right? So it's convenient to go to that hack, get that pitch template and basically structure their pitch based on it. So it's a convenience that people are paying for. Also, access to you. Access to you could be a great way. One of my clients, her membership site includes one monthly energy clearing session with her, which is access to her, and it's a great plus point. Access to community. If you have a great community, then access to community is also a very, very beautiful bonus for remaining a member of a membership site. Any exclusive anything. So it could be exclusive access to something, exclusive access to you, exclusive access to your guests. It could even be exclusive discounts for your other offerings. Anything that's exclusive, that's not available for anyone else that's out there, that makes for a great inclusion in your membership site. So in PH Lab, for example, I do a ton of webinars, and after the 24-hour webinar replay is up, the only people who have access to that webinar are the people in PH Lab, right? So that is a really great benefit of being a member of the PH Lab. Now, the next question is how to launch your recurring revenue Rolodex. So you've created something, now you are ready to launch it. So how do you launch that dang thing so you get your first rush of eager, hungry buyers? When I launched Persuasion Hacks Lab in March, actually, did I say March 2014? It's not March 2014, it was March 2015. So when I launched in March 2014, I wasn't even sure what I was going to do online. Yeah. My business was nothing in March 2014. But March 2015, when I launched Persuasion Hacks Lab, I added 400 new members to the PH Lab in 28 days. And that really changed everything, because once you get that first rush of a lot of new members, it just creates that, it creates that momentum, and all those people are engaging, and the communities, everything is really vibrant once you have that great rush of new members joining in. So the first tip that I have when you launch is to start with 10 trainings. You don't have to start with 50 or 100. Just start with 10 trainings or 10 hacks or 10 elements into your membership site. And then make sure that you discount the first month. So offer a discount. So when I launched it, I had about 12 trainings and I launched it at $7 a month. And that not only is the discounted first month a great way to get a lot of people in, also because you only have very little things and you're going to add things as you go along. So it makes sense to allow those people to join in for a lower price point because it doesn't have all the great bells and whistles that you will add over the next few months. Also make sure that you give people some sort of a teaser content. So what I did when I launched was I gave them 24-hour access to a few of my trainings from the PH Lab, just so to allow them to see what PH Lab includes, right? That really gets people, because they need to see. If they're going to get their cards charged every month, they need to be able to see. A sales page alone is not going to cut it. They need to have some sort of a teaser content to see what's included inside your membership site. Also, definitely have a launch trigger in place. And I get this question a lot. We're like, oh, do I have to do a launch trigger for a $7, $5, or $15 product? And I was like, listen, when I launched PH Lab, it was a $7 product and I did 3 webinars. in a row every single day. So in case you don't know what a launch trigger is the term that I use to describe an event that triggers your launch or that opens your launch. So I normally open my launch with a webinar, and that's what I call my launch trigger. But your launch trigger could be a challenge, it could be anything else, it could be a Facebook Live challenge, it could be anything, but really you need to have a launch trigger. Ideally, the first time you launch your recurring revenue Rolodex, it doesn't make sense to only do it through email. Do create some hype, create a launch trigger. Also, think of using the chunking method. And the way I use the chunking method in creating this membership site is that if I have a bigger offer, let's just say mass persuasion method, and it has a lot of these different trainings inside it, I can't use the chunking method because the whole program is one place. But in a membership site where I have a lot of these small trainings, I can totally use chunking method. And the way chunking method works is that you basically take one training from your membership site and you offer it as an opt-in, right? So they opt in to receive and see that particular training that's inside the membership lab, a membership program. And from there, you can tell them, you know what, there's more from where this came from. Yeah, without being all naughty and sadistic like I am. But basically, that's a great way to get them also into your membership site when you are just launching. So if you found this useful, which I'm pretty sure you did, because I know that a lot of what I shared here are things that people share in their paid programs, but this is all free. Please take a moment to give me a comment, preview, and share. Not preview, review. It's really important for me to spread this message, not just because I am self-obsessed and I have a low self-esteem and I want my face everywhere, but also because more people need to know that membership sites are great and they are really attractive, but you need to be aware of these watch outs and you need to be aware of these questions before you actually go on and create and launch your mega membership site. So please leave a comment. Tag anyone who would be interested in this. Also, leave a review because I like that, and share it with other people. You should also go to thepersuasionshow.com and get your handy dandy worksheet so that you can actually start using these tactics for your own recurring revenue Rolodex. I hope this was useful. I will see you very soon with another episode of The Persuasion Show. Thank you so much for watching. This is Bushra Azhar and I am signing off.